Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Lisa Rooney, and along with my husband Bob, we have had the privilege to co-chair this celebration of communion to benefit the Legionaries of Christ and Regnum Christi, New York Tri-State. Standing together in this spectacular room that is all glass and transparency, with this breathtaking view, and with the light of this glorious day pouring in, it is hard not to be moved. God truly brought us to this place, and today we are so glad to be here. Anyone walking by can in fact look in and see our joy as we celebrate our communion as grateful and hope-filled Catholics, friends of the Legionaries of Christ, and members of the Regnum Christi movement. And while this vista of the majestic Palisades and the mighty Hudson is before you, I would ask you to not be too distracted by the beauty outside, at least not yet. So let me be the first to turn my gaze inward to you, to gaze upon this room, and to look at the faces of those I couldn't wait to be with today. In this crowd is the beautiful woman who 9 years ago extended a warm and loving invitation to myself and my daughters to join a youth ministry group called Challenge for Girls. It is because of that invitation that I am here today. Present here is the gentle and patient consecrated woman who brought the light and love of Christ to those same girls and their mothers. I see the vibrant mother from New Jersey who embraced World Youth Day in Brazil and kept an eye on the young pilgrims. Among you is my spiritual director, who with the patience of Job is helping me understand God loves me no matter what. Out there are the men who welcomed my husband into the Lumen Institute and help him and each other become better versions of themselves. With them are their wives who do the same for me. I see the fearless, spirit-driven women who brought Walking with Purpose to my town and set me on this new path to Christ. And my RC sisters are here. They are the ones who insisted I could find the time in my busy life for an encounter with Christ, and told me, in fact, that my soul, the salvation of my soul, depended on it. Thanks to these faith-filled women, I have experienced the extraordinary gifts and fruits of the Regnum Christi movement, so that each week I want to run to be together with them and him. I'm sure each and every one of you could find someone in this place who is responsible for either getting you here or keeping you here. Perhaps it was a friend who was involved in one of the apostolates or missions of Regnum Christi. They knew that you too would find peace and fulfillment in serving Christ in that same work. Perhaps it was a legionary priest or a seminarian on the food line in Cheshire, or a consecrated woman or man who saw a hunger, a need for you to get closer to Christ. I hope you will take the time to find them and thank them. St. Peter tells us how we are to show our gratitude. He says, "Above all, let your love for one another be intense, because love conquers a multitude of sins. Be hospitable to one another without complaining. As each one has received a gift, use it to serve one another as good stewards of God's varied grace." So let me be the first to say thank you. First, to a woman with a deep, abiding faith and heart of gold. 2 years ago, Omeline Bourget asked me to consider taking on the role of co-chair for this event. Last year, she refused to take no for an answer. The best way to honor a friend is to try and emulate her. It would be impossible for me to match the grace and generosity, the creative genius, the confident leadership, and the love for the Legion and Regnum Christi that Omeline possesses. But I have tried, and her example has served me well. Thank you, dear friend, for calling me to this apostolate. The rewards have been tremendous, wherever you are. This year, as my husband mentioned, a new model for the apostolate of fundraising for the Legion and Tri-State Regnum Christi was developed. This was done to make sure we could take care of ourselves, to cover the expenses of keeping our local community of Legionary of Christ priests in Rye, for supporting the formation of several seminarians in Cheshire, for supplementing the education of consecrated women, and for running and expanding Tri-State Regnum Christi missions and apostolates. This is what we should be most proud of, our missions and our apostolates. The tremendous and meticulous groundwork to identify our needs was done by Jeff Sprague, our New York State local director. He deserves all of our thanks. The fundraising began earlier this year with a quiet phase ask of past generous donors. This was truly a team effort with husband and wife teams from Connecticut and New Jersey joining together to get the work done. I would like to acknowledge these couples. From New Jersey, Steve and Evelyn Auth, Maria and Charlie Spinelli, Kathy and John Methvessel, and Maria and Carlos Sanzo all participated. From Connecticut, Sue and Bob Stone, Ombeline and Patrick Bourget, Jeff and Val Sprague, and my husband, Bob Rooney, led the charge. Thank you, one and all. By working together, you began what we hope will become part of a yearly, sustainable, and successful model for stewardship and giving going forward. They say the devil's in the details, but he didn't dare show up to one of our meetings, as the planning for today's party fell to a team of extraordinary helpers from Connecticut, including Sue Stone, Omeline Bonget, Chris Schmiel, and Jody Infanger. Love and thanks, dear ladies. The preparation of the Mass was a labor of love of the New Jersey team of Sue Zavodny, Dr. Grace Grabowy, and Maria Sanzo. The care and love with which you tended to the details of our Eucharistic celebration was inspiring, as we were all witness to today. Thank you, new friends from New Jersey. And then there was the A-Team, the dynamic trio, a band of 3 women who took care of all the rest. We are blessed to have a support team in Regnum Christi headquarters in Rye, a staff whose devotion to the Legion and Regnum Christi, whose willingness to work hard and serve selflessly, and whose capacity for laughter, empathy, optimism, forgiveness, flexibility, and most of all, peacefulness knows no bounds. Thank you, Mary Wolf, Pam Brown, and Marnie Wolfert. Now, Jeff and Val Sprague. You have given tirelessly of your time, talents, and treasures to help bring others into relationship with Christ. Gifts that are sure to unite all of us as a family that works together, worships together, and grows together to do the same. Thank you also to consecrated women Cecile Martin-Ungat, your words of wisdom and guidance, and your motherly advice to persevere as we tried something new and challenging meant so much to us. And last but not least, to each and every legionary priest of the Rye community and St. Peter's. You blessed us with your presence at our meetings. You blessed us with your phone calls and personal words of encouragement. You blessed us with your understanding and support of our work, and you blessed us with your blessings. We are truly blessed to have you in our lives. And now I'm finally going to ask you to turn your attention to the view outside. If you look to the north, you will see the Tappan Zee Bridge. To the south, the George Washington Bridge. We travel back and forth, and some of us get lost, over these bridges all the time. They connect New York, New Jersey, and indirectly Connecticut. They connect Tri-State, they connect us. I hope after today you will use the image of the 2 bridges to remember that we are connected as a Tri-State family, spiritually, socially, and economically. We share a responsibility to help each other build our apostolates, to partake in each other's ministries, to evangelize our love of Christ all over the Tri-State area by building relationships and bringing into friendship with the Legionaries of Christ and the Regnum Christi movement, by bringing others into friendship. So I challenge all of us to get in our cars and cross those bridges once in a while and attend each other's events, encounters, celebrations, join in each other's ministries. It is time we shared each other's lights and communicate with one another in a meaningful and effective way. Finally, I would ask you to look straight ahead to the Palisades. Palisades is an Indian word that means cliffs that look like rows of trees. And then on this exquisite portion of these Palisades, you will see a line of trees that has been unbroken for millions of years. Nothing disturbs them, or this stretch of the Hudson River that flows unobstructed in front of them. If we heed our God call and trust in our amazing vision and mission and work together, then we will be like trees planted near streams of water that yield their fruit in season. Their leaves never wither. Whatever we do will prosper. Psalm 1, verse 3. Thank you, and God bless.